Welcome to another vlog from Palmerston North Boys and Girls High School. I'm Lance Redemeyer, the Director at Palmy Boys.
And I'm Christine Prassett-Damrong, the Director of International at Palmerston North Girls High School. Today we're very lucky to have secured the time of our Mayor of Palmerston North, Grant Smith. Welcome, Mayor.
Kia ora, and thank you for the invitation.
Cool. Mayor, would you like to tell us why Palmerston North is a great city?
Look, Palmy is, your model small city internationally. Relatively small, around 100,000 people, but in the centre of around 1 million people, and very, very close to our capital city, Wellington, which is just 2 hours away, and regular trains, buses, and air travel. So we're a diverse city too. In terms of ethnic communities, 130 different ethnic communities call Palmerston North home. So when you arrive here in Palmerston North, there's so many things to engage with.
Now, you've always been a good supporter of international students, and we've seen you at a number of the functions that they've been at. What are some of the best tips that you'd have for international students when they first come to Palmerston North?
Look, when they come to Palmy, we've got a fantastic city square, and we have an eyesight. And I would make the eyesight one of your first visits, and possibly our city library as well. We have arguably the best regional library in New Zealand, and it's got many different places, spaces to either study, relax, engage. Libraries are very different, and they're more than just books. Our welcoming wall in the city library, again, has about 140 different languages on it, and just shows the diversity of Palmerston North. But also we've got free bus travel for students. So you can jump on a bus anywhere within the city, and you don't have to pay.
Grant, can you tell us how the Palmerston North City Council can assist the international students while they're here?
So we will annually do a welcome for all our international students. In the past, before COVID, we had so many, we had to do them in different blocks. So we'd look after the schools, we'd look after our tertiary institutions, and we'd even go as far as looking after our masters and PhD students in a separate event as well. So we really acknowledge the value of international education in our city. We know what it brings. It brings not only diversity, but all the great things that all these international students bring from their cultures to us. It makes us more diverse. It makes it more vibrant. We will often have events within the square. We have an International Festivals of Cultures. It's a fantastic event. Nearly 20,000 people attend that. It has all sorts of different cuisines, music, cultures on stage, and it has won the Local Government New Zealand award for Best Cultural Event. We have lots of other cultural events and national days as well. So whether it's the Chinese New Year, if it's the Eid festival for our Muslim community, whether it's the Olio Francais French film festival, whether it's the Latin American festival, there is so many to do. And of course, with our biculturalism and our Indigenous people, Māori, we have strong relationships there, and the international students will feel that when they come into the city.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like they're going to be very, very welcome here as well. Now, we know that we've got some great secondary schools. You're speaking to 2 of them at the moment, but pathways into tertiary institutions, are there many in Palmerston North?
Yeah, look, Lance, I'm an old boy of Palmerston North Boys High, so you're talking to the converted. But and my daughter went to Palmerston North Girls High, so I know the value of education, and we are so blessed in our city. There are so many good schools at all levels, whether it's primary, through middle schools, through to high schools, and then into our tertiary institutions. So we're really fortunate having Massey University, which is one of, it's actually one of the world's great universities in terms of food technology, veterinarian and agriculture. But it is more than just an ag university. It has a raft of different degrees and programs, from humanities to business, to environment to planning, and defence. It's a very, very good university and has very high world rankings within its array of programs and degrees. We also have UCOL, which is part of the New Zealand Institute of Technology, and we have a campus here right in the middle of the city, around 6,000 students in vocational training. And we see quite a few international students pick up some of their nursing degrees and other courses as well. And then we have the IPU, International Pacific University, which is a privately owned Japanese university, and again, about 90% international. And their programs are very much around international studies. And we have Wainanga University, Indigenous Māori University. And so we've got 4 campuses, and we're very blessed in having so much choice, really. And there's quite a lot for students to do.
Yes, and in such a small city, like you said, it's a real community type of spirit that you could feel in this whole city. In fact, it's that small, I think a lot of people know each other. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Well, our vision is small city benefits, big city ambition. And although the city is relatively small by international standards, 100,000 is, it's the size of a suburb in other international cities. But we have international connections. So we're very well connected internationally. We have sister cities in China, Japan, the USA, and also strategic links with the likes of Singapore and the Netherlands. And again, it goes back to the strength of the city, which is around food innovation, more PhDs in Palmerston North than anywhere else in New Zealand.
Wow.
So we're a fairly brainy lot as well.
Yes. So Grant, are there any new initiatives that Palmerston North City Council planning for the students once they get to return?
Yeah, well, we were a pilot city for the government's Welcoming Communities program. So we're heavily invested in that. And that's where we've got all of our agencies together, including government agencies, but also the likes of the Manawatu Multicultural Society. We have obviously the schools, but also other agencies, the police, and everybody gets around the table to see what are the things that people value. And sometimes it's those small things. So it's making sure that if you see somebody that's a bit lost, we have some ambassadors in the city that will say, look, can we help you, and it's obvious that you can hear different languages being spoken. So it's not unusual to hear French or Mandarin or Japanese or another dialect being spoken within the city. And I think that's fantastic. Obviously Te Reo as well, which is our Māori language. But we can do lots for international students. They're welcomed as soon as they come in. We make sure that the buses are free. We have a library, so they're very welcome to use our library. It's free of charge again. They can just sign up to that. And we have events for them as well. So there'll be lots of either sporting clubs or special interest arts. We've got a fantastic theatre here, one of the best in the country, the Regent on Broadway. But we also have community arts as well. An example is IPU have their drum team, and they're regulars at a lot of our events. And that's just an example of how we connect with our providers.
Yeah, sure. And I think, with the border being closed for the past 18 months, 2 years, it's been pretty challenging for international students that have been stuck in New Zealand, so to speak, because they can't go home and see their families. Has the City Council, a number of things that you've mentioned before, but has the City Council had any initiatives for those students that have been stuck here?
Yeah, so Lance, pastoral care is really important for people when they're away from home. My daughter did a semester in the States, and I know how they really want to speak to their family, their whānau, to understand that everyone's still in touch. So we make sure we look after international students. We just don't leave them in their dorms or just leave them with their host family. We make sure they're connected. We put on regular events for them. We've done trips. We made sure we've got a beautiful river here. We've just really connected it well with well thought out bridges and pathways. So we have lots of events either outdoors or indoors. We've had trips up to Te Apiti, which is basically our New Zealand's Great Walk right on our doorstep here in the Manawatu Gorge. But there's trips down to the capital to see some of our government and Te Papa, our national museum. We have our own Square Edge, our community arts centre, and there's lots and lots of sporting opportunities for international students as well. I just saw the cricket just recently where the Indian community and also our Asian community got really involved in that, and it was almost like a mini IPL going on at Herbert Park. And I mean, there was quite a few international students involved in that. And I mean, that is, again, just they'll feel it. We're very welcoming.
Well, Grant, I mean, you've gone through a number of things which we supply for what we're going to do for international students, and we know that you are very busy and you're off to another meeting straight after this one. So we appreciate your valuable time and talking to Christine and I, and we look forward to perhaps welcoming back international students to Palmerston North very shortly.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, for your time.
Yeah, I absolutely. The welcoming matter's really out, and also we're a World Health Organization accredited safe city as well, which is really important for international students. So look, Palmy really does welcome you, and we look forward to seeing you all back in 2022.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mayor, for your time. And to our viewers, keep an eye out for more vlogs coming your way. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.